Greetings everybody, I'm Commander Great, CG for short. It's that time again, it's the season of ghosts, pumpkins, and overpriced candy. That can only mean one thing, it's Halloween again! The only time of the year when kids taking candy from strangers is encouraged.
Halloween, the spookiest time of the year, right next to Valentine's Day. Halloween has always been one of my favorite holidays. I mean, you get to dress up, eat candy, watch scary movies, and have so much fun. If you live in America, that is, because here in Sweden, it's barely celebrated. Sure, we have our trick-or-treaters and costume parties, but it's definitely not as big here as it is in other countries.
Well, if I can't celebrate Halloween like America does, then what am I gonna do? I wanna do something spooky to get me in the Halloween mood, but I can't figure out what. Maybe watch a scary movie, or play a spooky video game. Play a spooky video game? I've got it!
Of all these basics in education and learning is a very scary game that I constantly have nightmares of.
Or wait, maybe I should cover something a bit less scary. I know many people have phobias of bald people, so I don't want to upset anyone.
I think you should cover the first FNAF game.
FNAF? What does that stand for? Funky Nuts at Frederick's? I'll have to say, that sounds like a very awesome game.
I'm talking about Five Nights at Freddy's.
You mean the scary game with the bear?
Hey, I'm not that scary.
Ah!
Damn, I guess I really am that scary.
I'm afraid of bears!
I thought you were afraid of mooses.
Well, not anymore. Now I'm afraid of bears. And next month I'll be afraid of squirrels.
So, you gonna review my game, or...?
Yes, I am, but not because you told me so. This was my plan all along.
Five Nights at Freddy's, the indie horror game that took the internet by storm back in 2014. Seriously, for a while you couldn't go anywhere on YouTube without seeing this game. It was like you couldn't escape it. Everywhere you went, you'd see Markiplier going, "Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier, and welcome to Five Nights at Freddy's,
"Hello
an indie horror
internet,
game you guys
welcome
suggested
to
in mass, and I saw the
Game
yummy
Theory."
match.
And Jacksepticeye going,
Five Nights at
really
Freddy's,
good.
the indie horror games that and Dawko going. But what exactly is Five Nights at Frederick's? Or was it Freddy's? Freddy Krueger? Well, in this game you play as a security guard who has to spend 5 nights at a restaurant known as Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, which is definitely a real place. During the day, it's your average Chuck E. Cheese type place with animatronics that entertain kids, and you can play arcade games, and I think even Elvis performed there once. However, at night, it turns into a freaking horror show with the animatronics coming alive and trying to kill the player and vor them, so you gotta keep track of them on the camera as they close the doors when they get near you, but don't keep them closed for too long because then you'll run out of power, so you gotta play your cards carefully and keep track of when they're near your office and when they're not. So you gotta look at the cameras and use the lights, but don't use the lights too much because then you'll run out of power. What exactly happens when you run out of power? The bear gets you, which is terrifying for me because I'm terrified of bears. Now, that might seem like a lot of stuff, but at its core, it's really quite simple. The gameplay style of Five Nights at Freddy's is point and click, and unlike other games in the genre, like Sam & Max and Monkey Island, where you go around to different locations, you're stuck in the same place for the entire game. Just sitting in this office, looking at a creepy-ass muffin, these posters, and a fan, which Pat Matt is scared of. This office setting really does a lot in setting up the atmosphere of the game with these dark shadows and spooky spiderwebs. You can also do this. The only real things you can do in this office is look slightly to the left and slightly to the right. You can also open and close the doors on each side as well as use the lights, which again, drains power. The main gameplay of Five Nights at Freddy's happens when you pull up the cameras, then you'll be greeted by security footage of the entire pizzeria. The goal here is to keep track of the animatronics so they don't get to your office and jump scare you. The ones you gotta keep track of in the first night are Bonnie and Chica, with Freddy and Foxy becoming active in the later nights. Bonnie always comes through the left door, while Chica always comes through the right, which is very based and red-pilled. If you see any of them near your door, you gotta close it until they go away. The key to survival is really keeping track of them on the cameras, closing the doors when necessary, and using the lights to see if they're outside your office. So, as said, in the first night, the only animatronics active are Bonnie and Chica, who both act generally the same. However, in night 2, that's when Foxy starts getting active. I think that's the wrong photo. Foxy hides in here, the Pirate's Cove. If you'd rather keep him in there than in your office, then I suggest checking the cameras often. You see, if the player opens the cameras too little, he will emerge and run down the left hallway and jump scare you. So the trick is really just checking the Pirate's Cove often, as well as keeping track of the other two. Sounds simple enough? Well, there's still one animatronic left. Freddy the Bear, the scariest monster since Slender Man.
It's Slender Man!
Freddy becomes active on night 3 and moves on the right side along with Chica. Freddy is much harder to spot than the other animatronics since he often hides in the shadows with only his glowing white eyes visible. So, those are the animatronics you gotta keep track of. There's also a fifth one named Golden Freddy, but they're more just an Easter egg that crashes your game. And then when you've survived 5 Nights at Freddy's, you get your paycheck, and then the game is over. Ooh-wee.
Well, that's Five Nights at Freddy's for you. It's definitely a very simple game with not too much going on, but for a spooky little game to play around Halloween, it does its job. Now, where did that little bear go? Huh. Guess he left.